Moving on with the checkup. Two more things here. Shawn Levy is in talks to direct a new Star Wars film. We have Star Wars on the docket today. We're doing Andor recap. Shawn Levy's also directing Deadpool 3. You might know him from the Stranger Things franchise. You might know him from Free Guy. Are we getting like a kid Star Wars film here, Ricky Flex?
I
You
what
kind
am
of
I
are.
missing with this guy? What am I missing? I feel like I am missing something. How does he go from like night at the museum, date night in Real Steel, to freaking Star Wars? I am not getting this. Is it just like our era that we're in right now is just so addicted to like and like thinking of MCU? It's just like we're so addicted to IP and also mixing in comedy in it. So it's like, okay, let's get funny, like people that can direct funny movies into our major IP to attract these bigger audiences. Like, is that what we're going for now? Like, think of Taika. And Taika, like, he also has done his fair share of dramatic, like, serious movies as well. But like, I just don't know what we're doing anymore with major IP, and it's scaring me.
I don't think Shawn Levy is going to bring anything special to Star Wars. Like he's sort of good at making the big blockbuster. He could tell a family friendly story. But if I'm Star Wars, if I'm making a movie, right now I'm passing it to Tony Gilroy. I'm like, hey, do you have a movie in mind? Do you want to do something here? Like maybe even like outside of Andor, maybe not a spinoff of Rogue One, not even anything like that. Just like, hey, just why don't you take it from here? And like you're going into like the Rebel Alliance after Episode 3, pre Episode 4. You're telling the story of Star Wars that no one even thought about or no one even thought that they wanted to hear or watch. And now he's made it into probably the best Star Wars property that Disney Plus or that Disney has used alongside like Rogue One and The Mandalorian. You know, he's made it that special. So I'd be like, okay, why don't we do more of that? Like Shawn Levy seems like it's going the opposite direction of what Tony Gilroy has done with Andor. And that has like obviously maybe the viewership isn't too high with Andor right now, but the response from fans has been spectacular for that show.
And
You
loud.
know, so I'm just thinking, and like while we're talking about Andor, like Andor, the viewership isn't up. They're actually showing it on like Freeform. I think ABC is gonna
ABC.
have it. I think they're showing the first 2 episodes of the season. So maybe they're trying to like gain more notoriety for the show. Like, hey, this is good. Subscribe to Disney Plus so you can actually watch some good Star Wars for the first time since Rogue One and The Mandalorian. You know what I mean?
I'm
So to
glad you
me,
brought
it's just two different ends of the spectrum, Shawn Levy and Gilroy.
I'm happy you brought that up because when I saw that I was like so confused. It's like they're really that desperate. Um, but the
It
biggest
does
part
feel
where I
desperate. Yeah, that's such a good word for it.
but the biggest even what I found more surprising, which is shocking, but only the first 2 episodes. They released the first three, and we talked about how the first three felt like a one movie thing. Like they all were together. So only the first two, like those are like the first 2 episodes are probably the worst episodes of the series. If I watched the first two, if I was somebody that's watching it on ABC and I saw the first 2 episodes, I don't think I would continue watching it.
I didn't
I
like the
would have,
second one. I like the first one a lot.
yeah. You were. It took me to the third one. I think you got to watch all three, like right there and there. That's why they released all three in the first place. So for them to only do two, I just find so odd. The
That is
third one
weird.
just rounds it out perfectly, and I don't know. But back to this, like I love Shawn Levy movies. Just for the record, like the internship. This is where I leave you. I got that right. Free Guy, I like. I've come down a lot from a review. Like it's not as good as I thought,
He
but I
directed
enjoy
This Is Where
watching
I
it.
Leave You.
Yes. Like he
Wow.
is Night at the Museum I mentioned earlier. Like he's just a good comedy director. Like these movies aren't Date Night I mentioned. Like these aren't like spinning the wheel, but Star Wars is major IP that is spinning the wheel. I think it's crucial to our society. So for him to direct one of these is just shocking to me. And you could say, oh, he directed some episodes of Stranger Things here, but that's not his. Like it's Duffer Brothers, Star Wars. Like they're bringing him in to do his thing. It's not like they have a story laid out for him. That's where like I'm nervous. I'm really nervous. And I just don't want major IP and things that are critical to just be, oh, let's just try to gain more audiences and go more comedic, just like the MCU has done to try to gain a bigger audience and just get more eyeballs on the screen. That's not what we should be doing. Like you were saying with Andor, we just make things better because over time, people will watch them because they're good. And
Yeah.
it's Star Wars. They're gonna see it, especially if it's a movie. It doesn't matter. People are going to see it. You're gonna make your money back and more.
You're driving fans away by saying Shawn Levy's going to direct a Star Wars film.
But they
That's what you're
don't think
doing.
they are.
Yes, I agree. And this is like Andor's very much more adult oriented television. It's literally a prestige television show that Star Wars has never had before. That major IP like Marvel has never had before. This is maybe Loki, but that's still more like superhero realm. Like Andor is so much more grounded and it feels so much more real. It's amazing because it seems like Star Wars and Lucasfilm, they have TV down so pat right now. Between Andor, Mandalorian, Acolyte has a lot of buzz as well. But it seems with the movies, they don't know what the hell they're doing. They don't know where to go after the failures of The Rise of Skywalker, after the ending of the quote-unquote Skywalker saga. You got Taika Waititi developing a film. Rian Johnson, maybe he's still going to have his new trilogy made. You got Shawn Levy making his own film. Like, this is all just random BS that no one cares about. People care about the shows. If I was Lucasfilm, I would focus on those 3 shows: Mandalorian, Andor, Acolyte. Make those as good as possible. And then when you can have a
So
movie
effective.
maybe going off of that, okay. Or maybe when you can have, maybe Rian Johnson actually has something good, but we can't really trust him after, right, The Last Jedi as us as fans. So, like, it seems like you're either trying to just play the safe route with the Shawn Levy film, Rian Johnson doubling down on what he did with The Last Jedi, and Taika Waititi, who is just an absolute wild card. But your sure things right now, Andor, Mandalorian, go all in on those. Acolyte, I think, could be something special. I don't know who's involved with who's the showrunner for that, but I think that could be amazing too. I'm just saying, stay away from the movies right now because you don't know what the hell you're doing. You got TV down pat.
Yeah, they have no idea what they're doing movie wise. And they don't have a timetable for it either. They honestly have no idea because
Just
they don't
BS
have
announcements.
they don't have a Dave Filoni or John Favreau combination and that council that you see in the Disney scenes, Disney Plus behind the scenes, like about the shows and the Mandalorian. They don't have that for the movies. They don't have a concrete council like that. It's out of whack. So I don't know what they're doing. They're just giving people movies and taking them away. Looking at you, Patty Jenkins. Like I just don't know what Star Wars is doing.
Yeah, just don't announce any new movies. Just don't do it until you have a concrete plan of what this
Just look
new
at DC.
wave of movies is going to look like, right? And DC, it seems like they're starting to sort everything out now. But yeah, what we look back the last 5 years, it's been an absolute mess. Absolute mess. You don't want to be that. You're Star Wars.